All right, we're back for our second podcast here. We've obviously got Big Stevie here for his debut, so welcome, Steve.
Cheers, Tom.
The first thing that caught my eye this week, and I just thought we should just address it straight off the bat, is all these ex-footballers promoting betting agencies, multis. You know, they're on every single Facebook ad I've seen now, every single ad during the footy. Daisy's up there with a multi. Brendan Goddard's now there. Kane Cornes is with Bet Deluxe. Like, I don't know what's going on here, and honestly, it just grinds my gears. It makes me feel sick, to be honest, especially because when you think about the stories of like Favola or David Swartz, who have come out publicly and spoken about how gambling has destroyed their lives, and these guys have such a massive supporter base following from, you know, their days when they were professional footballers, and they're using that to promote gambling to fill their pockets. I understand they've got to make a living, but I just feel like there's other ways they can go about it, and I thought maybe we could... You know, we operate in that space where we're trying to promote people, or encourage people, should I say, to not gamble and to follow systems or methods, or understand how toxic gambling is, how much money you can lose. And yeah, it's obviously hurts our cause a little bit for sure when you see these guys that have a massive following, they don't know anything about betting, probably don't understand the damage that they're doing, or how much people really respect them and what they say. So I thought maybe that'd be a good point to kick off on today.
We were chatting about it before, and I was kind of asking, do we think that these guys have full on no idea how much the bookies make off people and how toxic it is to like just promote, like even giving someone the thought of doing a multi automatically gets them to their phone and straight away they're placing that bet. Bookies take 17 billion a year. I would dare say that these guys have no clue that is even a thing. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, cool, they're getting paid from it. It's affiliation, commission off whatever they're doing. Potentially have their own sign-up links. I don't know. Probably don't want to speculate with that too much. But reality is, I think if they genuinely knew what they're doing, potentially they wouldn't.
I reckon they know, though. I feel like, you know, they've been in the industry, you know, look at someone like Brendan Goddard, for example. He's captain in an AFL club. Like, they know that everything they do is scrutinised. You know, kids look up to them. You know, they can't punch people on the footy field. They can't wrestle people on the footy field. All these new rules around dissent and stuff, obviously that doesn't relate to these guys. But all the reasons that they do this is because they're watched by young kids and admired by young kids, and what these guys do on the TV is what the young kids do, right? So you've got Brownie sitting there, Goddard sitting there, Kane Cornes. Everyone's loved getting around like the volcano and stuff.
2 years, I reckon.
Yeah, they love doing. I've even seen Richo get on some of them.
Yeah,
like,
Richo's on there.
So people idolise these guys and love what they do on the footy field.
It's elite marketing because they're gonna.
Yeah, it's genius by the betting agencies.
Nathan Brown, I saw, and even Goddard the other week. He's actually telling someone to do a multi because he thinks someone's value, and he was saying, I think it was like 2 goals and then put this guy in for disposals, and
that's the worst, isn't it? Is when he starts offering his own like advice where he's got no idea.
Yeah,
he's just another random.
He wouldn't be making that up either. The Sportsbet would be telling him to say
it would be scripted,
because they know that's a minus EV or a multi that's undervalued. It'll be something that won the week before that now would be paying way less than it should be.
And then they're just writing whatever the media say. If someone's kicked a bag the week before, they're like, oh, yeah, no, he's in hot form. So the bookies would have smashed those odds in.
Correct, exactly right. So, I mean, hope these guys see this. If you know them personally, maybe send them this podcast and tell them to have a suss of it, because maybe they can reconsider what they're doing.
I'll genuinely just be curious. Like, it's not like having a go at them like the shittest blokes ever, but I would love to know if they understand the influence that they have and how toxic, you know, that interest. All they have to do is sit in that sporting multi-page for a day and read some of the comments. Honestly, like, you know, some people like, you know, I need this bet to win, or, you know, I've got my rent on this, and some of them are probably taking the piss, but I'm sure other people.
Well, you were in a DMs today on Hussla. There was a guy who lost 100k.
Yeah, 100k.
Another guy 20k
in his Neds account. Yeah.
This is like, these are anecdotal evidence, but we're getting so many of them. Imagine how much is actually out there. There's 26 million in Australia, 17 billion the bookies take off you, another 10 billion on pokies.
Yeah, so, I would love to know, what, especially guys like Kane Cornes is the one that just baffles me. Like, he will rinse people for doing things that are probably not okay, and I thought he's a pretty upstanding dude. Yeah, no,
he's doing it for marketing. He like gets views, which is awesome. He has his own opinion, whatever. Everyone has their own opinion, but if you're going to go work for a company like Bet Deluxe, who we've spoken about before.
Honestly, multiple times.
It sums up Bet Deluxe.
Literally. So
Bet Deluxe, if you're out there, I don't know. We don't really like Bet Deluxe. They're a bit dodgy the way they do things, and getting Kane Cornes is
stories about them. So it sums up them. I mean, maybe he's going over there to prevent sign-ups because a lot of people don't like Kane Cornes. So if you Bet Deluxe, maybe choose someone else to get your marketing because
I don't think old Kano's thought of that, to be honest.
Like a few of the comments I've seen it on Facebook, people are like, I'm not signing up now because Kane Cornes. So maybe they should have thought of that before they did that, but
no,
I don't know.
But maybe we could, like, obviously we started on a bit of a sour note, but a good place to start, I reckon, and I'll be interested to see some of the feedback that we get around that.
It's frustrating. I mean, yeah, like, you can blame these dudes, but it's also just an industry-wide thing, and then it always leads back to the culture of Australia. We touch on this all the time. It's just so accessible. People don't even, like, blink when they see a promotion or hear a promotion about Sportsbet or chuck a multi on. Like, someone's 10-year-old son's probably watching the same show, and they wouldn't even consider that being weird, which is a problem.
But that's some of the conversations that, especially in our DMs on Trumpy, like, they kind of start to realise that, and they'll be like, you know, if we have in-depth, you know, when we send them those follow-up messages or whatever and ask them how they're going, and they'll be like, yeah, mate, I've been losing for ages. I've got all these massive promos. They text me every single week, and, like, I'm just starting to realise why. Like, it's funny that they have no idea. It doesn't click that, you know, you're the only one getting these text messages. Other losing punters are as well, but that's not a site-wide text message. That is a targeted text message to you because you're losing, and they know that you're more likely, if you get that text, to put more money in and lose more money.
Yeah, it's also, like, timed as well, so they know exactly when to send you the text.
Location as well.
Location. They know when you're opening your app, what you're sitting on, what markets you're looking at. So it's.
I got a message the other day saying it recognised I was in a local pub that's near my house, and it said,
Tab
tab venue mode. They recognised I was in the pub, and they said, deposit $25, you give you $25 bonus bet. How's this? That's the first time I've seen that. Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're ruthless. They
but, you know what? I put $25 in, like,
and you
straight up.
It over and
I turned it over. Yeah, risk free. Yeah,
$15.
Yeah, easy as. Yeah,
$20.
Paid for my couple of pints. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the reality is most people won't do
they're
that.
not turning
and after they've deposited once, they might even go to the pub, be like, I'm not going to bet today. Might have told the missus, you know, not gonna have a punt today. One beer, that text message comes through. They know, like, that text message comes through.
Yeah.
25. You know, I'll put one $25 bet and I get one free hit. Lose.
50.
Typical gambler mindset straight away. You know, I'll get it back. I'll put 25 more in, and then just.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Slippery slope from there. -200 in 2 hours.
And and that's just such a common scenario that happens all the time. And as you said, I've been in the Hussla DMs recently and having conversations with people and where they've come from. Yeah,
because we put out a lot of videos about, like, losing accounts, and it's something I want to kind of discuss again. If you're watching this, if you have losing accounts, the amount of money and the amount of kind of sustainability, the likelihood of you not getting banned when you have a losing account is way, like, less. Because you've got years of history. Some guy messaged us, as I said, 100k down, like, he's not going to get banned, and he would be getting offers every week. We had a guy reach out to us on Trumpy the other week who was getting 5k deposit matches every week. And remember the big bets guy? We discussed it on the last podcast, and we're like to him, man, we'll make you like 3k off that deposit offer. Just learn how to turn a bonus over. And he's like, nah.
Doesn't do enough.
That's not going to be enough.
Yeah. Like, just one of the big bets.
I want big bets. And he just kept going. He's like, even if you told me you can make me 100k a year risk free, he goes, I'm not interested. I'm here for the thrill. And it's like, bro, like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, if you're betting for the thrill and you don't want to win, then
he mustn't. He
would have no, like, financial.
He's got financial. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But it's still that mindset. That's a scary mindset to have. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't care. If you can't make me 100k, then I'm just going to lose 100k.
But even, like, it's obviously not a problem for him now. Well, you know, we're speculating, but it probably isn't. But if he's got that idea, surely, like,
100%.
At what point is 1 and 2 grand bets not big bets? Like, at what point does he need 5, 10,
Correct.
50? And then, it's a slippery slope.
It's quite, it's a fully desensitized to money kind of mindset, which is dangerous, but... Especially
if you're into the gambling kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like most punters, though, are, in a way, desensitized, because if you process right, the way that I think about it is when someone joins our system, we're very, very conservative in the sense that we'll talk them through, you need to have a select unit size. Lots of people don't understand what that means or how to select it, right? So we'll go through that and explain that to them. And it's very, very conservative, right? We know how our system works, and the way that we tell them to select their unit size, we could probably have it 1.5 to 2 times larger than what we would suggest it. But it's because we know these people come from these backgrounds where they don't understand how units work, nor do they understand what consistent, disciplined punting is, which is the thing.
It takes time for them to learn that.
So when you start a little bit more conservatively, it allows them to, because the biggest problem that anybody that joins our system has is emotion, right? They're emotional gamblers, and if we have a couple of losing bets in a row, obviously we saw this on Saturday, they instantly start to panic, right? Because every single time they've bet before, they know how this ends. 1 losing bet, 2 losing bets, 4 losing bets, 10 losing bets. I'm going to have to place $100 on my last bet today to try and get even in the get out stakes. So that's the mindset thing that we need to try and remove from them. And it's a lot easier to do that when their unit size is conservative, because if they do lose 1 or 2 bets, they're like, all right, I haven't lost that much of my bankroll. And these guys have told me to just keep betting the same amount.
Yeah.
And then it all comes out in the wash. So Saturday, a great example, we're sitting at -3 units after 7 races. We've got 22 races for the day, so we still have 15 races, but there was a fair bit of negative chat in the free chat. A few people getting a little bit concerned, a couple of new subs going, not sure what's going on here. And then, just a few calming messages from some of the longer term subs. Let it all play out. 8 races later, we're sitting at +20.
Yeah.
And if you decided to bet more after your first couple of losing bets, or you stopped. You stopped. You had enough. I can't believe this.
-1, -3.
You miss out on 20 units that you would have picked up. So, I think the mindset thing's massive, and desensitization to money, definitely, especially towards later in the day, if they've already punted away a lot of money. It's like, I've already lost 100. I may as well lose 100 more or win it all back. Yeah. And that's a dangerous mindset.
It goes the other way and explodes. Someone messaged us on our DMs that we follow up all the new subs after like a week. I think you sent, or one of you sent the follow up. And I said to him, I think it was just a text, like, how did you go this weekend? And he goes, yeah, great, I won some money, but I donated it all back like a fool. And that's his first week in. So no doubt, like, it's at least he admitted it. Like, now we'll go back and talk to him a little bit more. But the reality is we do see a lot of that happen. And a lot of people jump off, and I think this is the hidden reason, because they don't follow the system. We're speaking with one of our subs today, and one of his mates is on Trumpy, and he's like, he's a subscriber, but he doesn't do it properly. And I think...
It's the discipline. It's the temptation. People have got their accounts there with money in it, particularly after winning as well. And there's more of a temptation to gamble, and people just can't cut that off. They can't separate. Gambling is just pure. Like, the system is purely to make money. It's not to it's a lot of fun. Yeah, you get a bit of a thrill out of it as well. But people can't separate that. Do
you think it's because they never had the money to start, for that day? Because, for example, 17 units on Saturday, let's say you're a $10 unit punter or a $20, that's $170 or $340. So then go and donate that all back. You sit there for 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. Yeah. And then you've just gone and whacked it back on whatever in 5 minutes. Fuck. What's the point of that?
It's just not enough money. It's not enough money to people. Winning $170, what's that going to do for people? They'd rather go... if I hit a $4, $5 horsey, I turn it into $1,000 and now I'm laughing. It's that temptation that people are looking for. But further on that as well, I think people get too caught up in... It's a very short-term mindset. Obviously, we talk about mindset and short-term mindset a lot. But people get so caught up in a daily result. Yeah. It's all about, by the end of the day, I want to be up. Rather than thinking, I want to be up in 12 months' time, and understanding that the end of the day isn't the end of... it's the end of a 24-hour period.
It's not the be-all,
but it's not the end of your journey.
Fucking this much of our whole...
Exactly right. But it's race... it's the last race 9 at Caulfield. Yes, it's the end of the day. But race 1 on Wednesday is just following on. It may as well be race 10 at Caulfield. Yeah. It's no different. But people get so caught up of they need to break these milestones or have this amount of money in their account by the end of the day. But it's no, that's just the last race of the day. It's not the last race of your journey following the system sort of thing.
It's unrealistic expectations, I think.
100%.
They just want too much.
But it also feeds into that as well. Everyone says they're punting for fun. But then, if you're doing it for fun, why do you have to try and get into profit in the last race of the day? Where is the fun in that?
No, that's not fun. That's bullshit. Fun. If they were doing it for fun, they'd bet $50, which they can afford to lose for the week if they're on $1,000 a week. 5% of their wage, even that's too much. But they would stop there. Like you said, they wouldn't care if they lost $50.
Correct. So that's when you know it's not fun, and that's when you have to think about, holy shit, what am I doing?
These guys are betting to make money.
And a great thing that we spoke to Kath last night. Obviously, it's not her real name, but we spoke to Kath last night, and she was talking about her husband and how it finally clicked for him when he was losing $200, $300, $400 on the punt on the weekend, and she said to him, "Do you want to go and work overtime today and not get paid?" And he said no. And she's like, well, that's exactly what you're doing. When you go and work your overtime or you go and work your shift and then you come home and you put it all into your Sportsbet account and lose it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to work for free, which 99% of people don't because they don't even like what they do, then why would you essentially are working for free because you're just going to give your money away.
Yeah.
So if that's fun, if you think that's fun, then
the biggest
I'd love
excuse
to
ever.
actually have a genuine
We
conversation.
had a 16-year-old jump on our live the other day, and I said to him, he's like, oh, can I do this if I'm 16? I'm like, no, you can't. You need to be 18, whatever. He's like, oh, but I'm working part-time at the moment, and I literally just pay my whole paycheck into Sportsbet every week.
He's 16.
Yeah, he was on our live. You can go watch it on Instagram if you haven't seen it. But mate, like, this is a reality. People are literally like working to just pay Sportsbet. Like, obviously that's worst case, but like it's so like common.
But it's not just Sportsbet. Like there are people that get addicted to scratchies or tats
Yeah,
lotto
pokies.
or
So many have a
pokies.
slap.
Yeah,
Like,
That wasn't it's not a dig at just punting. It's just
Yeah.
flat out gambling.
Yeah,
Like that's that
generally,
mindset. And it's like if you sat down and have a conversation with them, do you want to work for free this week? Nobody's going to say yes. So why would you? And the only thing is they'll say is it's either fun or there's a chance that you win. And it's like, well, how many weekends or years of punting and losing does it take for you to finally realise, oh, fuck,
Mate, you gotta
maybe
hand
I'm
it-
not going to
Yeah,
win?
where's the end?
You got to hand it to these bookies. They've literally created
They've done
a
it so
system that no one can win, yet they still somehow sell, or not no one. You know what I mean though.
Yeah.
Like in general, just
Unless
the
you have
everyday
your own
punter.
edge,
Yeah, unless you've. But they've created this system that's virtually
Genius.
unwinnable. Yet they so well sell the hope to people that everyone can win.
What's
and you can be that
JP's
person.
favourite saying? I'd love to be a bookie.
Yeah,
Oh.
like
Or bookies that love this guy.
I'd
Do you
like to
work for the
think that.
Yeah, do you work for the bookies?
Like over the last 2 years, I've kind of taught myself like psychology and stuff that people use, and like we all know about it now. But I promise you, these guys they've got literally people around their fingers. Like they'll say do this, they'll do it, and it's just perfect marketing. We spoke about it there's a podcast that me and Kiro did about all the different terms that they do, like gambler's fallacy, the availability heuristic, people thinking that they can win more commonly than they do. Like for example, the classic one of someone seeing a multi in a group that has a 50k payout. The human instinct is to then go and place a multi. You want to be that guy because you've seen it's possible.
Yeah.
So then you're going to go do that. That's just perfect fucking human psychology. You're going to post that in there, post it on Instagram, say, hey, look at punter of the week. And it's like, bro, that's one bet out of fucking 500,000 bets. And there's probably been 5 of those for the week that have hit. And it's like, man, these guys, even if they post that, we've said this heaps, they would make so much money just off that bet winning. So it's actually, they want
Oh, of
people
course
to
they
win.
would. If they post like a 50k payout multi
Yeah.
in a Facebook group with 100k people, they're easily going to make more than 50k within 10 minutes of that
100%.
multi getting posted. Like they're not
So
losing
they
any
need
money.
people to win. They need
Of course
people
they do.
to actually, like, you need someone to sell the dream to someone else because that's going to bring more people back. And the reality is, we get it all the time on TikTok. It's like, hey, but if you just hit one bet, man, you're going to make fucking 20 grand. It's like, if. But it's like,
genuine
have
mass,
you hit one yet?
mass psychosis.
Legit.
Like it genuinely is.
Promise, it is.
It's
yeah.
just every other person telling every other person what
Yeah.
to do or showing them. And it just takes, like spoke to today and he's like, just wake up. Like
Yeah.
his mates are sitting there watching him make $1,000 on Saturday.
Yeah. Doesn't go to beers till he's done.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to go and have beers with them until I'm done for the day because that's how I'm making my money. And he's going to make 50k this year. He's 18.
Yeah.
And his mates still don't believe it's real and they'd rather drink beers at the pub.
Well, there's nothing wrong with drinking beers at the pub, but they're gambling as well, so they're losing. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, you can't help everyone. You can lead the horse to water, but obviously making them drinks another thing. So
yeah, well, as you say to the Hussla guys, it's patience is the key, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to have you want to be willing to learn, but you have to be patient because our system and Howard Hussla, none of them are going to get rich overnight.
No.
You cannot do it that way. So
I think one thing that turns a lot of people off is obviously, we touch on, you need to probably start on a smaller unit size to begin with the system because, you're going to make mistakes along the way. You want to start on a smaller unit size, test the waters, dip your toes in, work out it's real, get the trust in the system, build your confidence up, etc. So you're better off starting with a smaller unit size. And, that can mean sort of 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday for probably, 4 or 5 Saturdays in a row. And you're putting in a combined sort of 20, 25 hours in that time. And you might make $500 on a $10, $15 unit size, which for 20 hours input on a Saturday afternoon where you can be out with your mates, if you're working full time, it doesn't really weigh up.
No,
It's not really worth it. But people can't put in that first month, 2 months, and see it as an investment in themselves, see it as an investment in the education, the discipline, the structure that they get along the way to then build up their unit size to 20, 40, 60, 80 and cash in.
Yeah, do you stop going to the gym after 6 weeks because you haven't seen any results? Or
Exactly
do you keep
right.
going for 12, 16, 50 weeks? Like, you don't see results at gym building muscle in 12 weeks.
But you know it's going to get there
Correct.
eventually.
And you need to go through that period of kind of no result or no reward.
But it's not no result. And the thing that you always say as well is if these guys are already punting,
correct,
you're not going to be losing.
Correct.
So if you factor that
aspect,
into what you're making,
yeah.
So you stop losing, plus you're making profit.
Yeah,
and as Steve said, in 2 to 3 months' time, if you stick around, your bankroll not only will grow with us, but you'll be like, all right, I now understand how this works.
Yep.
My bankroll's bigger. I'm going to go from $10 units to $20 or $25 units. And as Steve said, the 20 hours you put in a week, which I think's overstated.
No, I said over a month.
Oh, sorry, 20 hours a month. Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
So the 20 hours a month, when you started off making $400, you're now making $2,000.
Yeah. Well, we've seen guys from they've been on for 17 months, like Lama Del Rey. Obviously, it's not his real name, but he's been on. He started at 10. I remember messaging him on the Hussla account saying, "Hey man, do you want to like come into platinum? You're going to save a heap more time." He was kind of skeptical, and then he invested in that, and then now he's probably made like 30K in the 17 months or whatever. And now he's on a 70, 75, $80 unit size or $60 unit size. I can't remember. Yeah. Maybe up to 75.
It's more than that. I reckon it's closer to 80. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's making what? 33 officially with our 65% assumed, but he's on turning his bonuses over 75, 80. So he's closer towards like 45, 50. What's that times 80? That's fucking closer to 4K a month. Yeah, just off one method. So,
but he started making $300 a month.
Correct.
Exactly right.
And he's doing nothing different now, apart from he obviously understands how to use Betfair. But even so, if he didn't, and say he was sustaining his accounts with that unit size, he's doing the exact same thing he did 17 months ago and making 8 times as much.
And he was a massive loser before too.
Yeah.
Like he came in with some existing accounts which helped him, but
has he lost any accounts?
I think he's lost one account when he was in between the system and Hussla. He lost his lad. But since then, I think he may have lost like one more maybe in 18 months.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it all the time now. Hey, you've been around for 12 weeks, lost any accounts? Nah. It's like people don't think that you can actually sustain your accounts. And that's because they've got
I know that's one thing we've got written down here and we discussed today on the phone call was that there's a real misconception that you get banned because you're making money.
Yeah.
And that's completely false. Maybe, Steve, you want to speak like a little bit about,
100%.
how people get banned.
I wanted to do a video on this actually, and it'll happen as well, but bookies make money the second you put a bet on, right? Like, I know you've mentioned it in lives and stuff before. It's like, a bookie's not sitting there. You put $10 on a horse at $6 or something. The bookie's not sitting there going, "Buddy, please don't win, or else we're out of pocket $50." No. They've gone and backed the same horse, and they've got a 10% edge or 15% edge, and they're going, "We couldn't care less if this horse wins by the length of the straight, or if a buddy doesn't make it to the finish line. We're going to take 15% of whatever you're staked, guarantee every single time." People, this is one of the biggest misconceptions within gamblers. They think the only way you can keep your promos is if your account is losing. And he's losing. But if you're winning, the bookie's still potentially making money off you.
Yeah.
Like your net profit loss doesn't it does impact it, as you've sort of pointed out.
There's a heap of different variables that they consider. Obviously, if you're using Betfair as well, sometimes you can move the money into Betfair. Obviously, there's complexities around that. It is difficult. It can go the other way, but the reality is, losing and winning positions of an account is like something that like Ladbrokes and Neds do in the short term. Like I know Ladbrokes and Neds will ban you if your account goes super high super quickly.
If you jump in quickly and
if you've had like a boost recently and you've decided to hit wins, then obviously they'll get rid of you.
But again, that's still a promotion, like promotional bet to an extent.
So it's nothing to do with winning and losing. No. It's the fact that they then look into the account because it's short term one and they say, "Oh fuck, boost $500, $1,000 boost."
I remember back in the day with Beteasy. They used to tell you when a trader was viewing your account. You'd put a bet on it. It'd be like
reviewing
pending. And it'd say it's pending sort of thing.
I think Bet365 do that as well.
Any account does it if your account's sort of potentially a risk or whatever.
Okay. Okay, fair. Anyway, but I remember I put a $500 boost with Beteasy, and that was the end of the account.
Yeah.
Came up pending, see you later, and it was like, I think the bet lost, and it was they didn't even let me put the bet on. They just banned me straight away.
Well, me and Tom were using a Neds for a while, and we had, I think, like, we would have had 10 to 15K. There was 2 of them that we just kept getting the offer every Friday, like 2K, 1K, put it in, and we just kept smashing
every single Friday.
Like we just turn it over, zero it, and then bang, next, right? But then eventually they realised that we were only taking the deposit matches and not depositing without the offer. Yeah. Which is obviously a little bit of a
even though the account was like minus 20K. It would have had to have been close to minus 20K.
Yeah, so they they obviously caught on and took it off because they would have reviewed some activity. Our sustainability and defence back then, we didn't give a fuck about it.
Oh,
we didn't
100%.
care. But they still banned the account minus 20k. So,
but that shows like the bookie, like that account did not win any money.
No, it's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So, yeah, we always have comments on TikTok, especially even when we blew up on Twitter one day.
Yeah.
No winning punter has promos.
like-
That's just unfortunately that's completely wrong.
Bit of an ego city on TikTok, isn't it?
100%.
Like with the horse stuff.
A few big
if
egos.
you're using bonuses and promotions, it doesn't count as profit apparently. But when you live off,
So if your bank account goes up, it doesn't count.
we've
It's
got
just
guys.
so ego. It actually it does my head in thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like when you actually sit down and explain it to someone, you're like, hang on, you can attempt to make money this way and probably lose,
Yeah.
or you can just utilize what is being offered to you and guarantee you're going to win. What are you here for? Are you here to bloody blow wind up your own ass and
Correct.
feel good about
That's
yourself?
what they're there
or are you
for.
here to bloody make money? Because I'm here to make money. I'm here to make
Yeah.
our followers money, and we've identified that's
A lot of them, though, you
Yeah.
will find as well when going through them. Like, and I am pretty big on like racing Twitter. I follow a lot of them, and
Yeah.
I see a lot of their comments and activity. A lot of them are trying to run their own service, or if
Yeah.
they think that they're a small time. They do their form. They're an analyst, right? Which is great. Like, good on them. That's a great
Absolutely.
hobby. Like
Yeah.
that's a sick thing to do. But when they see somebody else being successful or running a service where they're like, oh, that would be sick if we could do that, or if I used bonuses, my results would be so much better. And it's like, do it then. Like
Yeah.
there are
100%.
other services that are doing it. Like it's not, you can't
But
not
it's
do
not,
it.
it's not just as simple as just using bonuses.
Of course,
Nah.
it's not.
Like, we know that because...
But that's why we're
that's what they
saying, like,
think.
that's when we're
right.
responding, like, mate,
Exactly right.
you can do this too.
Yeah.
So you're doing the pure racing form, which is fine. You can do that however you want. But if someone else is doing that better than you, I haven't seen them rinse them on Twitter. So just because we do it differently,
it's a complex around the fact
we do
that
it differently,
use
and
bonuses.
as we said as well, there's so many fish in the sea or whatever. There's so much room for. We've said this before, like competition, for example. There's so much room for people to enter this market if they want to. Like,
correct.
there's an abundance of punters
It's not
that
gonna
you can
change
get on
anything.
board. So it's not going to change. We're
No.
not taking anything. We're not taking any of their lunch, and they're not taking any of ours. But for some reason, because it looks like we're mildly successful, or our results seem to be better than theirs, whatever, they just kick up a fuss, and I really don't understand it.
And this is an issue that I think not a lot of people understand. We don't claim that we're not a promotional we
of
are
course.
a promotional tipping service.
All
We
of our-
tip the way we do. Steve made the system based off the way that fucking the bonuses are there. It's like, I've said this 100 times with the solar analogy. Like, a solar company uses the sun because it's free. You can't go and tell them, oh, bro, the sun's free. The sun's there, don't use it because it's cheating. It's like, well, you're going to give us bonuses, we'll use them.
Yeah, and that's
So-
where like people are like, well, you don't know anything about horses, and then it's like, well, that's completely false.
Yeah.
But on top of that, and I know Steve didn't want to talk about this, but I like talking about this because Steve just gets sick of talking about it because he's the maths guy, right?
He's gonna
But
rinse you
everyone says you don't have an analytical edge, right? And first of all, an analytical edge is subjective, right? So you don't know what we're using. But if you just use promos and we just use promos, I will bet my entire life, even though don't gamble, but you're not going to tip the same horse as us. You're also not going to outlay the same units as us. You're also not going to pick the same horses in the same race as us. How are you going to know to back 2 or 3 horses in a race, or 1 horse in a race, or to put 1 unit, 1.5, 2 units? That is our analytical edge. That's the data that you've gone through for 2-3 years.
Analytical edge, bro, is as simple as saying we think that
Hang on.
fucking
So I got
Franklin is 2 goals is value, and you say it's not.
Correct. But so first, I don't hate talking about it. I'll just clear the air. But it just triggers so many people.
Yeah,
like it
fucking
really,
idiots everywhere.
yeah. I didn't want to say it in that exact words, but yeah, that's what they are. But look, I'll use an analogy of blackjack to define what analytical edge is. So everyone out there has got this idea that analytical edge is only an edge if it ends up making a certain amount of edge. Essentially, everyone's
correct.
saying that our non-promo results aren't positive, so therefore our analytical edge
Yeah.
isn't an analytical edge because it's not above 0. All right, let's take a blackjack. Someone who plays blackjack, right? There's like there's obviously a million ways you can play blackjack, yeah. But there's the perfect blackjack. So basically, there's a grid out there. It's a pretty simple table. It's like 4 tables, and it basically says if you've got this hand and the dealer has this card, do this, and it's black and white. There's no yes, if, no, maybe. It's literally, if these are your two cards, and this is what the dealer has, you play this. And that's called perfect blackjack.
Either hit or stand.
Hit or stand, double, split, whatever. There's a few options. Like, it takes a little bit of memory, but basically, I've tried to memorize it just for a bit of fun. But you got, like, it wouldn't take more than like 2 weeks every day. You'd be able to memorize it. And that's perfect blackjack. And what that takes your edge is, the average blackjack player who's got sort of no idea and just goes for a bit of fun, they're going to be roughly at around 45%. At the casino, that's going to be what they're going to. That's their odds.
Win.
Yeah. So 45% of the time they'll win. So they'll lose 5% in the long term, or lose 5-10%. Anyway, they're gonna win 45% of the time, and they're gonna get 2-1. So they're gonna be down. If you play perfect blackjack, you're gonna get 49.5%. Yeah, so you've got an analytical edge there. You've got an edge of 4.5% over everyone else. You're still not above 50%, so you're still going to lose, and that's why you've got to count cards to ultimately win playing blackjack to get that extra.
Can you even do that anymore? They got too many packs, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is in Melbourne. I'm trying to suss that at the moment, but that's sort of off topic. I want to go to Vegas and do that next time. But anyway,
I think we've got you covered, mate. I reckon someone else might have worked it out first, and they've changed it.
No, it's still.
There's a movie called 21 going off topic.
Yeah.
Really good
No, there's still casinos around the world you can do it, 100%. I think you got to be. It's not illegal to do. You're allowed to do it. But if you get caught, they're gonna belt you. And you got to be pretty sort of strong-willed and like understand what you're going into. Anyway, back to the analytical edge. So these, if you play perfect blackjack, you've got the analytical edge. Perfect blackjack is built off analytics. It's built off this guy back 50 years ago or whatever, and he just ran a million simulations and find what is the best play for every single card. If he doesn't do that, he's going to lose a lot more than what he would. You know? And so that's an analytical edge. In the long term, he's still going to lose non-promo. Yeah. It's still an edge. It's still analytical. Like, people will just get so caught up in the bloody semantics of this word.
You can't prove an analytical edge either. So how do you prove it? I mean,
you're right.
Well, you can't technically prove it, but it's very easy to prove in a sense that, you know, the comments are, you just use bonuses, that's why you make money. And it's like, brother, you can use bonuses too. So why don't you just go and do it?
Yeah.
And we actually did have somebody who was a borderline hater, but still understood what we were doing. And he's like, I've gone through, you know, since January, I went through 3 months results for every Melbourne and Sydney Metro race. And I just backed the first and second favourite with 1 unit on each horse and got a bonus back and turned it over. He turned his overs at 80%. We did ours at 65%. And he was still 23 units down on us, only in a 3-month period.
Yeah.
So it's like, so he was rinsing us saying, you don't have an analytical edge, you're just backing favourites and you're just using bonuses. And he did that, literally did the math, and then proved his theory completely false.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he was like, oh, like I wrote to him after, I'm like, so your results aren't the same as ours. So therefore, we do have an edge in the way that we select our horses. Whether or not you understand it, it's there. And whether or not, as you said, it's not going to be our promo, you know, our promo results aren't going to be the same as our non-promo results, obviously. But that's the way that we've set up this
system.
That's
the way the analytics are done.
Correct.
We've not made this for non-promo.
That's what I'm saying. So like, we want to be making profit in the long term. This is how Steve first identified that this is going to be the most sustainable way to profit in the long term. It's going to be less volatile. We're going to limit our downside and we're going to leave our upside completely uncapped. Sure, we might be leaving some profit on the table here or there, or maybe we tip a little bit more often than some services. I know some people say, you know, you outlay a lot of units, but we've worked out that this is how it works for us. We're 17 out of 17 profitable months, sitting at 20 units profit for May. We're going to be 18 out of 18. Like, that's not a fluke.
Steve
that's
did
not
this for
luck.
3.5 years as well. There was never a losing month there. We did it for, what, a year or 2 years? Like me and you.
Probably like 14 months.
Steve
but like, there's... If you think that that's just because you use bonuses, then unfortunately you just have no idea.
The other thing as well is that this is not part of the analytical discussion, but it's also sustainability. If you go out there and just hammer promos and do it, you think we're
you're done.
Just
you're
backing the first. We're not, obviously, if you go through our results, like many times, every week, like when you tip on the weekend, you tip like 5th favourite winner. I think you last 2 Saturdays ago.
2 Saturdays ago, race one.
Like, if you go through results, you work it out pretty quickly. But yeah, it's just if you look through shit, you work it out.
But I still don't understand. That comment to me still makes no sense. And Steve spoke about this as well. Like, sure, backing a roughie is fun, right? Yeah. But we're in the business of making money. Yeah. So if we think the first favourite's going to win, we're going to back the first favourite. We think the third favourite's going to win, we'll back the third favourite. We aren't backing them because they're favourite or second favourite or third favourite. We're backing them because our system says that that horse is either the best value or the best chance to win that race.
The best comment is, it's not the best, but a good comment. It's like, I'm not going to pay you to tell me to tip the favourite. What if it
What do you
wins?
want us to pay? Yeah,
What do you
pay us
want?
to what? To back the third.
Literally
favourite,
any other
tenth
horse.
favourite that
You would
doesn't
have
win.
yeah, exactly right. You would have paid us to tip any other horse in that race, and you would have lost money, and you would have been what, happier with that? Like
They would be though, because they
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
chance to win more.
100%.
And then they realised after that we won and they didn't.
Yeah.
And then they,
People would probably rather come second by a nose with a roughie
legit.
than win with a favourite by
Yeah.
a nose.
'Cause
Like
they're
on the
so
same race.
close.
They've
Yeah,
they'd be
almost
like,
got the
"Oh."
dream sold, 100%. They've got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hope that the next one I'm going to do is going to win. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's going to lose again, mate.
Yeah, like how good was I? I picked a $20 horse that came second.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
almost won.
Not good, man.
Didn't
You just
win,
didn't
man.
make
It's
any
binary,
money.
mate. It's either you win or you lose,
You
unfortunately.
minus fucking whatever you put on it. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't complicate it further than that.
Yeah.
Maybe on the topic of comments, I know that you had a few written down, Steve. Maybe we could
I'm gonna
make
find
this a
some
little
as
bit
well.
of a maybe make this a bit of a segment on the podcast. But we do cop a fair bit of hate, and
We
yeah,
got
some of it can be quite questionable. So maybe we can read out a few.
We got
of
an
my favourite
employee
comments,
now on our comments, so we don't actually see him as many.
Yeah.
As many of them.
which
but-
is a relief.
Well, I reckon if we, from day one, had started collating all the funny comments, we'd have 4 hours worth of podcast
We did rinse
material.
Kane Cornes before, but he does do a podcast on the radio where he reads out
Yeah.
the funniest Twitter comments that he gets throughout the week, and they are hilarious.
Old
like
mate
some
Luke
people.
has deleted his comments, by the way. Though he's going to feature on the podcast, but he's deleted.
Oh,
Well, there are a few people that
shout out to
delete it.
Luke anyway. Keep them coming, mate. Luca.
But maybe if you want to read a couple, Steve, if you've got any good ones there.
We got a
Discuss
couple.
a few.
This is one that sort of hasn't come up pretty recently, but it was definitely when we first sort of entered the scene. Was we obviously have our spreadsheet and all our results all timestamped there, ready to go. And one of the good comments is anyone can make a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
We've got a spreadsheet with probably 4,000 entries,
Say so.
4,000 rows with about 10 entries of data
Yeah.
per row. So that's you're looking at 40,000 entries right there. Look, if anyone's going to do that to try and take $18.99 a
You've
week,
got
or
the
$24.99 a
spreadsheet
week.
too, yeah?
Yeah.
But you've also got those tips sent out to the current subs.
Yeah, they're all in the Telegram.
Exactly right.
There's been
Timestamped.
over 250 subs now for close to how long? 5 months.
Yeah.
So you not only have to scam the people reading that who aren't subs, but you also have to scam the people who are subbed who are paying us every week.
Well,
too.
that was the follow-up comment to that. Wasn't that we only make profit. So
Yeah,
when we
that's what I'm
when we
thinking of.
lose,
Yeah.
everyone jumps off, right? So we have a losing week
change the
and we
results.
lose all of our subs apparently.
Yeah.
So then the next week, because we have no subs,
We
we say we
post all the
made
winners.
20 units profit.
No
Then
one's there to
people buy
verify
in. Then the subs come back in. Then that week, because we don't know anything, they all lose. They all disappear again, and then we just run this cycle.
That was a good one.
We've always got burner account comments.
Yeah.
Like we've got burner accounts. Like that's
Oh,
a-
if you had 300 people following you, they'd be defending you. Basic logic. That was a comment we got.
reality is people don't sit on TikTok all day.
No, they got better things to do, don't they? They got to spend their winnings.
Apparently
One
not.
of my mates is helping us with editing now. He follows Platinum and Trumpy, and he doesn't have TikTok. And he's recently jumped onto our comments because he's posting and editing our videos now. And he's completely oblivious about all this stuff that we have to deal with, or we don't really care. But
Yeah.
he's like, bro, did people not have anything else to do all day than sit here? Like, he couldn't believe some of the comments. And they just keep going. There was one
But
guy
it's
who
not
commented
like,
like
yeah, I was
400
gonna say,
times
it's
in
not,
2 weeks.
It's not like a one-off comment from a random
Yeah.
person. It's the same. Like there's like 10 of them,
Yeah.
and they don't know each other. But
Well, let's name him. Like Jake Themis,
Jake the
Will
Mug,
Lols.
Van Comedy.
Van comedy. He's dipped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he jumped on the live though last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's back.
He's
But I think
he's
he gets
smart.
it, though.
He stirs the
Delsky.
pot.
Delsky.
Delsky's it. Yeah, we love Delsky.
Dane.
He's our favourite.
Dane. We had to block him.
Dane was
eventually had
causing,
to.
he's just annoying.
He was
Like,
just. We were getting comments about him. Actually, Llama had a comment on Lockie. He's in Hussla now as well. He's a
Yeah.
mate of mine. He actually messaged me personally. He's like, mate, you got to block that bloke. He's dead set. Just
well,
a
he
pest.
signed up in a week and he lost, right? He lost like minus fucking 2 units or
Yeah,
something. He
yeah,
had a
yeah.
losing week, right?
Yeah.
And then
which is not uncommon.
we don't
No,
have a
2
refund
and 10.
policy on the week because of the way the system's designed, right?
Yeah.
The refund policy is on the month because as you've created the system, it's a long-term system. So yes, we'll have losing days, losing weeks, but never losing months. So we actually want to remove the weekly or put it up because we want to try and get people on that longer-term mindset. But he's like, give me a refund, I lost. Give me a refund. This is like 5 months after he subbed. Like he fucking subbed back in October. Like I don't know what else.
But like that's he doesn't actually want the refund. He doesn't give
No,
a shit about
no.
the money. He's
And
just
he-
trying to stir the pot
And he's
just trying
messaged
to
me
make a
saying
scene.
he's got gambling issues and needs to take the block off his card. He was going to sign up again, and then he come back to me and said, "Hey man, you're just a coward. You're a scam and all this shit."
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like you don't understand how it works because you're too impatient to go through it. Unfortunately, like you're playing the victim here, but our system's profited 200 units since you jumped off. So I don't know what you want us to tell you, but yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that.
This is one you copped, and it cracks me up. Is the Are You Psychologists now?
Oh, yeah.
Because we talk about mindset.
Correct.
Talk about mindset and, long term and shifting your mind from, getting that thrill. We're going on all about. Yeah. Anyway.
This is a good one. This is all fake. I actually addressed this today in a video. This is all fake. This system doesn't work. If it did, everyone would quit their jobs and do this full time.
Quit their jobs.
Well, I responded to it and I said, look, it's possible to live off it. There's probably 20 to 50 guys that are living off it across both communities.
I mean, we all lived off it.
We lived off it. I lived off it for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's not bullshit. That's what happened. I didn't work. So you came into it because you didn't believe it at the start, and then I told you, if you don't know match betting, you're literally I don't know.
I came into it because I had no job.
Yeah. You had 2K to your name or something.
I needed money.
Yeah,
I was
job seeker.
I was honestly, I finished uni and I was like,
well,
probably now's a good time to start. So.
Yeah. And I knew you would, when I introduced you to it, I'm like, mate, you'll kill this. Because I know you're very smart and the way your brain's built, you make things better. And next minute we've got fucking you doing match betting for 3 years, and then we're presenting this system to us, and we tested it out for a year. I lived off it as well, and then we're like, fuck this. I encourage you boys to get it public, and then obviously it's taken off now. So imagine the reality is everything, as I said before, is all linked in the bio. It's fucking there. You message us on Instagram. You can't really fake all this stuff.
I guess that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand as well when we've addressed this before, when what are we paying for, right? And you're not just paying for tips, but you don't really realize that until you do send us a message or go through our content or go through our podcasts or go through our tutorials or go through our educational videos, or, as soon as you jump into our free chat, and then Steve's going to send you a voice message.
Yeah.
We'll follow you up with you. You haven't even paid for anything. Yeah. And we'll just touch base with you. What are you doing? This is what we do. This is what we do. This is how it works. It costs nothing to get information off us, because we of course we want to make money. We're running a business. We want to make money. There's no denying that.
We only make money if you make money.
But and we're not hiding away from that. But we also did this because, and we were doing it ourselves and making money. But it's we can change the way that other people bet, and we can make them money, and it's really, really rewarding. And I did want to read one comment that we got.
There's one more I want to talk about as well.
We got a message yesterday or this morning, on Telegram, and it said, "Hey Tom, Steve and JP, it was great to chat with you guys last night. I woke up this morning and thought of more things that I could have said. I hope it was what you were looking for. We obviously recorded her and did a podcast with her.
Yeah.
As she just jumped in, she follows the system with her husband. In all honesty though, you guys have been amazing, and I'm so keen to get on Hussla Platinum to hit my goal of $500 a week. It's an extra income that I can make from home, from the Easter show, and even from the car when I drive up to Fraser Island on the weekend. It will allow my family to have so much more financial freedom and to get that credit card paid off. Anyway, thanks again. I'll see you guys around because I'm not going anywhere." That is so nice to hear.
That's why we do this. And taking back off that question, we always cop it. If you made so much money doing this, why aren't you still doing it? That's why.
Yeah. Yesterday, that was so sick.
Yeah.
That whole
We'll post that podcast.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Interview.
Yeah.
But honestly, people don't understand that point. I had to make one on the weekend about it. The dressing room for 3 minutes, saying this guy couldn't get his head around the fact that if we were making this much money, we were making kind of 2 to 3K a week. Some weeks we make 5K, right? People can't comprehend why we would stop.
Yeah.
And it's because, like you said, I think on a live, wherever you were, I can't remember where it was. You're the reality is you don't want to sit I think you said on the call, you don't want to lock yourself in your room, talk to nobody every single weekend, and just make money. What good is coming from that? Yeah, your bank account's going up, but no one else is being helped. You're beating the bookies, great. You're got more money, great. But then
you're not going to do that for 10 years.
No. But the people that think, as if these guys are doing that and stop, that's because they're losing on the punt, right?
Yeah.
Or they're not making that kind of money. They've never been in that situation, and I can guarantee you that it's not. And it's I think we spoke about it on live one time. It's you get, if you want to make your missus happy, or you want to make your kids happy, or your mates happy, you get something out of that because it's nice to make someone else feel good, right? We get that for 310 punters that we're losing every week.
Yeah.
And they, we see the joy, or them having fun, or them getting around, the results in the chat, them sending us messages. We have people DM us, after good days, or after being on the system for a month, 2 months, being like, guys, thank you so much. I'm so glad I came across it.
Yeah.
That's that's what, when you think about what you get out of like making other people happy, that's what we get out of running the service. And of course, we're still making money. Like, we're not out here saying we're bloody Mother Teresa.
No, we
like,
built this company up from the ground and fucking had 20 subs to start, 50, 100.
Yeah, like it was run free for the first 3 months. Like, we didn't, we invested hours and so much time and money into building that. You know, we're building a website now. We're paying for customer service people. Like,
if people knew what goes on behind the scenes, like I had to ask someone today, he said he wanted to work for free for us, and I offered him to come work for free, because the reality is people don't get that we probably put in each, probably like, 50, 60 hours a week each.
Like, it's a lot of work, and I just feel like people don't kind of understand that.
Yeah.
And we could be putting in, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people come across because they just want to make money, right? Yeah. We could be putting in way less effort.
Yeah, just send the tips out and that's it.
Way less effort.
We would have 50
and we'd probably be making a lot more money, but like, that's not rewarding. And we enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking about it. We basically live and breathe it, right? We can't get away from each other. We can't stop talking about it. We can't stop getting messages, or someone likes our comment, or then we see a funny comment, and we start talking about it, or how can we? What's the content we're making this week? Like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And this is like across both Hussla and Trumpy now. And like, that brings me to the next comment. It's like people say like about the sustainability stuff and the extra knowledge and the fact that we're experts. The reality is we did this for 7, 5, 4 years, whatever. We fucked up that many times to make things easier for you guys. So in life, you shouldn't try and do things on your own. You should learn off people that are more experienced.
What was Kiro's bus analogy?
Yeah, jump on the bus with fucking all the people, knowing you're going to get there quicker to the pot of gold, rather than trying to do it on your own.
So this is the thing, is so many people come to us and they're like, guys, anyone can do this. The internet teaches you how to do it. It's so easy to do it. Rah, 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 rah. And it's like, people sign up to us, and we do get the odd person who jumps off because they don't
do it themselves.
Yeah, they try and do it themselves, and they get all the content.
But we don't care about that. Like,
by all means, absolutely do it.
The reality is they're probably going to get banned.
Yeah.
And if they don't, great. Fucking, we're happy for them. If they can do it on their own, who cares? Like,
that's sick. Yeah, that's good.
At the end of the day, that means that what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach them. We're trying to improve them. We're trying to make them not a losing gambler.
If they didn't come across us, they wouldn't be doing it themselves.
Exactly right. Yeah. And at the end of the day, things that are simple are good. And like, we've put it like, what we do is not simple by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's Saturday mornings are pretty hectic. We all wake up pretty early, and there's things flying around, ideas flying around. We're arguing and stuff at times.
It's when every clown decides that they want to get on, Saturday morning, 10 a.m, they want to send us a message, and it's like...
it's all happening.
What have you been doing all week? You haven't seen my 8 videos to tell you to not get in. Saturday morning, like...
Yeah.
But that's over 18 months of it. I mean, I'd love to see what it looked like Saturday morning 18 months ago, because it wouldn't look like what the operation is now.
And we've made it simple.
And exactly right.
Well. Like, we had like how many free trials? Like 400-500 free trials.
Oh yeah.
We'll never do that again, unfortunately.
No, exactly right. But it's like, now we've made the process of signing up, getting everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a learning curve. It's one of the first things I tell people every time they join in. I'm like, this is a bit of a learning curve. Bear with 4
videos to go
But it's still relatively simple compared to what it would be otherwise.
It is funny because you get people that come across and they say, like, if they've watched it straight up, you ask them a question, hey man, do you know what unit size is? Hey man, what bookies you've got? And they're like, I don't know. And it's
or they say $50 unit size, Sportsbet and tap, and it's like, well, you definitely haven't watched that video. Because you can't follow
and then the second part to that is, it's funny how you'll get people that will then fully respond to the DM, and they'll be like, fucking X, Y, Z. Everything's they've watched it. You can tell they're serious, and then you get the person that just doesn't get it, and they jump off after a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's an issue with our content. I think that might be the issue with the person's patience. So obviously we want to increase.
You can tell who's there for the right reasons.
Straight up, for within a day.
Very quickly.
100%.
But I also feel like we accommodate, and JP says this all the time, because I don't mind reading things. Like, I think I'm a bit more of a reader than a watcher, whereas you're a watcher.
Oh, really?
So we try and provide like all different kinds of education, and like, so when you sign up, you get the welcome email, and everything that you need to do is written, right? So you can follow the step-by-step notes if you want to. Literally just a guide, tick them off.
Yeah.
The other thing is we have videos there. We have like a 9-minute walkthrough video of how to do everything.
Yeah.
So you can watch that if you want.
That's actually free on YouTube, by the way.
And then we have the sustainability video, which you can watch as well.
Yeah.
And you can go through that. And that's what we're there. And then obviously we've put the spreadsheet in there now as well, which, that alone is worth probably hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
If you want to use promotions on your betting accounts and you don't have a spreadsheet that tracks any of your activity, where your accounts are at, what kind of promo use, if you don't have any of that,
it all automatically for you.
You're just guessing, right? And Steve's built that, and that alone, we could sell that. I'm certain that we could sell that to our subscribers for $100, and I reckon they'd all buy it, guaranteed. And you get that the second you sign up, even to a weekly or a monthly, you have access to that.
Yeah.
Like, so you get so much more than just tips through a Telegram channel.
The sustainability video would be worth probably $500 itself. Like, it's very basic for advanced level, but it's still there, as you said.
So these people that are like, you just use promos, you just bet on, the favorites.
But like, that's the beauty of it, is that there is such there's just every step of the way, there's ways to elevate your game and ways to make more profit and ways to hold yourself more accountable and ways to improve your sustainability. Like, when you first start up, I don't expect anyone to be turning over their bonuses for more than 65%.
Definitely
using the spreadsheet. Defense is probably going to be nowhere. They're going to be making heaps of mistakes. They're probably going to be putting bets on that aren't covered by promotional insurance, but they're still going to be making profit, and that's day one. And then after a month, then they're going to be all of a sudden doing, things better. They're going to be turning over their bonus bets at 70%. 3 months down the line, they're going to be using the spreadsheet. All of a sudden, they're tracking their bets. So, like, it's a proper journey. You're going to start out on day one as someone who, is going to be making a lot of mistakes. It's going to be pretty sort of poor, but, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and eventually, ideally your unit size gets up to $50, $100. You get on platinum, your defense becomes elite, and like, you can just continually get better. So it's sort of fun in that element. It's not like you join and that's it. Like, you actually do grow, learn, develop yourself following the system.
But that's it. That's, again, the best part. We always say, like, if you stick around, you'll reap the rewards. And it's not just because of the profit. It's because you will pick up and learn so many different things.
Mistakes.
And that's the beauty of the way that everything's set up, is that anybody that subscribes, person A, subscriber 1, subscriber 300, subscriber 700, everyone has access to the exact same information, content, us as a resource, and you just get to make of it like whatever you want. And there are guys that absolutely dominate it.
Yeah.
There are other guys that just like to do a bit more than the bare minimum, and that they're happy with that. And then there's people in between, and that's everyone. No one gets special treatment, right? You all have the same information. You all have the same access, and those people that are hating on us or saying it's not real, you can't do this, they also have the same ability to have access to all of this. But
we
unfortunately,
give it to them for free sometimes.
100%. We've given out free months, so they have access to all of that content, and unfortunately, they just don't want to do what the other people want to do with it, and that's not our system problem. That's an individual problem, unfortunately.
Do you want to speak about what happens when someone signs up? We briefly touched on it, just because I know a lot of people may get confused with how it all works. Right now, we're obviously revamping our content, so if someone's watching this in 2-3 months' time, it may have changed. But what happens when you sign up? I know you've put a video on Insta.
Oh, okay. All right. So in terms of...
Like, what do they get? Like, an email? Like, what's
So when someone does sign up, an automatic email will come through. In that email, we've talked about it, Tom mentioned it briefly, it's the welcome email, we always refer to it. Check your welcome email, check your junk, check your spam. It always gets sent there. And it's basically an outline. What is it? 6 steps? 6 steps in it. It's basically, first step is join the tipping channel, the link to the tipping channel, free chat link. It's all in there. Second step is how to follow video. Third step, bonus turnover, account sustainability, and then a few other extra tips in there. And in there basically has every single bit of information that you need to know how to follow. It's always going to be there. Once you've got that email, it's not going to delete itself. So you're always going to have access to that content. It's got the spreadsheet as well. And it's just a really good sort of all-in-one reference guide that you can use whenever you need. Once you're in there, you get into the tipping channel. You can get into the free chat. I'll send you a personalized message, just, welcome you, reminding you about what we're about here. We're here to make money. We're here to take it seriously. You've probably all heard these words before. Once that happens, you're off. You're in the channel. You're ready to go. Then it's on you. The onus really then goes on to you. We've done sort of as much as we can at that point. We've reached out to you. We've sent you an email. We've sent you a personalised message. We've reminded you about what we're about. We've reminded what you need to be about. We've asked you a few questions. We try to engage, new subscribers as well. We'll ask them, how many bookies they've got, what's their unit size, what do they plan on doing, what do they want to get out of this. Then after that, it's the onus is on the individual to really go and embrace it all, ask questions, be inquisitive, be curious, work out how they can make the most out of this. And I guess from there, we do have a lot of people. After the first week, you'll then normally send a follow-up message, just checking in with people, seeing, did they have any problems? Because it can be a bit overwhelming. I could imagine first day, Saturday, people join up, particularly if they're joining up at 10 a.m.
Yeah, correct.
It would be so overwhelming. Like, it would race one comes around.
Wouldn't say don't follow first day if they did that, but obviously people aren't there who are signing up at 10 a.m. for that. They're there to make money on that Saturday. Most of the time.
Exactly right.
Unfortunately, but
that process, that whole sign up process, we have like changed that and added things to it and deleted things to it, and done those personal voice message follow ups, and we're trying to make it so that we offer, if you subscribe, you get so much support in that first week and so much information that, as I said, everybody gets it. It's not like we're not picking and choosing because someone sent us a DM. Every single person gets that information. So if they, as Steve said, the onus is on you to an extent. The first week we will bend over backwards to make sure that you understand what needs to be done.
It's not just that first week. Yeah.
No, of course. If they want,
if they access to us forever.
Of course, if they need help. But what I mean is like if you're an independent learner, right, we will give you every single piece of information. We will send you a follow-up message. We will then message you after your first week of following. Do you get this? Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Have you done this? Do you need anything else from us? Like, we are the resource for you. Yeah. And then there are lots of people that go, thank you so much. I understand it. If I need anything, I'll reach out. There are other people that didn't quite understand X, Y, Z. Other people don't even respond or they don't even open the message, right? And that's just the 3 tiers of the kind of people that follow our service. But then there's also the follow-ups. Like, we get 50, 60 DMs a week. Not all of them are from people that want to join. Lots of them are from current subs. We also have the Ivanka Telegram messenger, which is essentially our customer service Telegram. And we have people messaging in there all the time. Hey, mate, I'm thinking about increasing my unit size. Hey, mate, I've been betting like this on this account recently. Should I be changing the way that I bet? Hey, mate, I've got this deposit offer. Should I take this? Hey, mate, the one that we saw this week, I've got this elite odds from PointsBet. Should I be taking that? Like, it's not just horse tipping stuff. Like, we want to help these people.
Yeah, correct. And there's a lot more to obviously placing the bets and the profit and loss. That's people what they see at the end of the day. Most people don't even check the results, but that's at the end of the day, if we're not making profit and loss for people, they're not going to unsub.
Of course.
But you need to do all the other shit to make sure that you're sustaining this, because reality is we could be making much more profit, but we've considered the long game of sustainability.
I do also think people maybe get like a tiny bit overwhelmed because we speak about everything that we offer, right?
Yeah.
There is still the ability, if you just want to jump in, watch the videos, know exactly what happens, and just bet, make your profit and disappear, you can still do that. Like, that works fine if you follow the instructions. But all we're saying is we provide so much information that if you want to go to the next step or you want to do this bigger and better, you have access to us, you have access to all of our resources. But again, we still have subs that probably have followed on $20 unit size for maybe a year, and they don't care. They're happy to do that. They just want to plug away. They already know how it works. They've got the sustainability down pat. They don't want to change the way that that's working for them. And you can do that too. You don't have to go big. You don't have to scale it up. You don't have to spend all day Saturday doing it like that.
People just like watching racing at the same time as well.
100%. And if they're making profit, they're making profit. And they're happy.
There was a guy the other day that messaged through, and he's on the $94.99 3-monthly price. I saw him. OG, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him, like, what's your unit size? Hopefully you've been cashing in. He's like, yeah, I've been making money. My unit size is still $10. I was like, fuck, like obviously you've been around for 17 months or however long, 16 months since we've been like paid. And I said to him, look, why have you not thought about increasing? Because obviously, yeah, great. He's probably made what, fucking
$580 bucks.
5K.
Yeah.
Only 5.5K or whatever.
But as a $10, like you have to, as a $10 punter, that's a lot of money.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it is a lot of money, and most people will be like, oh, for 18 months it's not. And who knows? He may have been a loser before this as well, so he saved that. But if he was, let's say, 50, he would have made 27K or whatever it is, or 25K.
And let's just sit on that point for a bit. 5.8K is still a fair bit of money over a year.
It's fucking heaps.
That's still a lot of money.
The reality is, I think the average... I was talking with Kira in the last podcast. I think the average that people lose in Australia is like 100 a month or something, on average across all the...
Well, I was about to say, if you sit in a room with your mates, so you're watching this podcast, sitting in your room with your mates, and if you all actually had a spreadsheet, how much money did you make punting this year?
Most people wouldn't have a clue.
Exactly right.
And they're betting way more than $10.
Exactly right.
So most people would have lost 2-3K, like at our age, or 18 to 30. Most people...
My uncle was saying to me the other day, he's like, look, I've been to the casino a little bit over the last 12 months, I bet on the horses a little bit, and he's like, I'm up $1,200, and he's like, I'm absolutely stoked with that, because I've got the
he's
fun
one of the
out
lucky
of it.
ones.
Yeah, he's one of the luckier ones, like, absolutely.
Probably give it back.
Why hasn't he subbed yet?
Well, actually, he hasn't subbed because one day, I was just like, But he asked me, I remember Zaaki was running, it would have been last November at some point, I reckon. And he's like, it was Zaaki just lost. You remember Zaaki lost paying $1.28 or something?
Yeah, you tipped the other horse.
Yeah, at Sandown.
No, I didn't. Nah, that was...
You tipped the other horse.
At Sandown.
Probably Bill beat.
Yeah, probably Bill beat.
Yeah. Good horse.
Beat non-conformist by a nostril.
That was the one I had the dream about. And you backed it. Yeah. Anyway, Zaaki was racing the next 2 weeks later, paying $2.50. I was like, oh, who's going to win this race? I was like, Zaaki wins, mate. He's like, oh, well, I'm not going to... He was the one who was like, I'm not going to pay for those tips. Zaaki won at $2.50 that day as well. And one with a leg in the air. bloody cool.
Yeah, but it was a favourite, mate. So anyone could pick.
It doesn't count if you make profit and it's a favourite.
Yeah.
It doesn't count. Alright, so we'll start off again here. Obviously, we've just had a little intermission. Tom can't exit the room because all the cameras. He's about to piss himself. So we'll close this off soon. Steve's going to talk about some of our recent results after he has some pineapple. And we'll go from there and kind of talk about how much you should be expecting to make in the short, long, and medium term with this. Obviously, depending on your bankroll, depending on a whole heap of different variables. But yeah, fire away when you're ready to go.
I reckon just quickly as like a preface here. Obviously, we have had 7 weeks of consecutive profit, so it does look very easy for us to talk about our results now. But the reality is, as we've said, 17 out of 17 profitable months. 8 weeks ago, we actually had our worst week ever, which we were very public about. We were very curious to see who would stick around.
We copped so many fucking... Yeah. They just came out of everywhere, these haters. And
people that we'd never even seen before. But, the reality is, as we keep saying, stick around, hang around, back it in. That's just what's going to happen. We did change the way we tipped slightly. There's going to be a bit more volatility. And since that week, we've had 7 consecutive weeks of profit, about 41 units of profit, I think. I might have made that up.
No, 7 weeks is way more than that. I think that was the last month.
Oh, okay. So it'd probably be closer to 55.
Last 7 weeks, 60.9
60,
units.
there you go. So,
since that
so
worst
if you
week,
jump off minus 15, not only are you minus 15, but you've just missed 60 profit after that. So you're minus 75 units on what you could have been if you shift your mindset. 8 weeks, that's only 2 months. It's not a long time.
How many... Do we have a massive influx that week? Or was that another week?
We did.
Was it 50?
Around 40, I reckon, because we were trying to get 40 the following week, I reckon.
Negative 15, 16.
So we had 40 new subs jump on. I'd love to see who's still here.
But even after that 40. Worst week ever, I'm pretty sure we made the profit back and more the week after.
Yeah,
I think we did 16.8, 17 units.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so even if you just were one more week, long-term mindset. But yeah, maybe if you, Steve, want to just dive into, quick summary of the results, give them a 5-minute rundown of...
I've actually just sort of identified something, just looking up. I've never noticed this, but we've had 3 weeks, right? We've had 3 weeks where we've lost more than 10 units. So one week...
How many weeks? 65, I think.
What are we at now? 73 weeks.
73.
So 3 weeks we've gone more than negative 10 units or worse. The first week of that was... the 3rd of the 3rd. That was when we
launched subs.
Yeah, when we first went to paid.
Yeah.
We went negative 10 units. So we got what did we get initially? 60,
30
70?
to 50.
Or 30 to 50?
Maybe more, I don't know.
First up. But they were all sold.
It was 900
subs.
In a free channel for 2-3 months.
So we went negative 10 in our first ever week when we went paid. And then in the... this is a piss take. But in the next...
end of March period was fucked.
Yeah, in the next 8 weeks, we went 131 units in profit.
Oh my god.
131 units.
One of those was in a 7-day period. We made 70 units.
Yeah, we did.
We had 2 30
back-to-back
Saturdays,
on the 23rd and 30th or something.
Yeah.
March.
All right, so that was the first time we went negative 10 or worse, and then the second time was mid-August last year. Mid-August, we went negative 11.4 units, and then in the next 1, 2, 3,
that was after
4,
we had
5,
a huge
6,
day, I
7.
reckon.
We did. In the next 7 weeks after that, we went plus 80 units. So that's roughly, that's another, 12, 11 and a half units per week after having our worst ever week ever at that point. Our worst ever week ever, then we went plus 79 units in the next 7 weeks. And then this... mid-March now, we just went negative 15 units, set a new personal best for our worst ever week, and then we've just gone bang, plus 60.9 units. If you have our worst ever week, if we have a bad week, jump on.
Legit jump on. Well, honestly, you said this. You said we need to market more when we have a losing week, because that's when it's more likely. I mean, is it?
Well,
it's sort of gambler's fallacy.
It is gambler's fallacy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an interesting.
But we have
one.
an edge, right? And that edge hasn't come to the floor that week, but it comes to the floor every month.
yeah,
so
but it's still.
I don't think we have more edge, but the
don't have
reality
more
is
edge,
we
but
are going to
it's-
have
it's
these bad
mutually
days, but they're
exclusive,
few and
though.
far between.
It's almost like it is mutually exclusive, but it corrects itself very quickly.
Yeah.
The system corrects itself very quickly.
Well, those data, those stats. Firstly, if you're losing 15 units in a week, firstly that shouldn't even touch your bankroll. Because if we say 1 to 2%, right?
Yeah.
Worst case, you've lost 30%,
30%.
which is fucking almost unheard of. Like, it's happening 3 out of 75
If
weeks.
you got $10 unit size, that's $150 gone.
Correct. Out of about 1,000 that you should have
Yeah,
started
and
with.
people have lost a lot more.
Correct,
on
and
a
you still got
Saturday
850 remaining, and then now
Yeah.
you would have fucking 650 more, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that shows that it's infrequent, and secondly, that if you stick around, obviously you make money. So yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the last, through March, April, and now May, we've gone 70.6 units profit. So
What do we for the year? Because we
For
have the
the
yearly
year-
guarantee at 200.
for the year, we're at 114 units. So we're definitely smaller than what we were for this time last year. At the same time, but we have outlaid a lot less units.
Yeah, we're tipping a bit differently.
Well,
Yeah, tipping a lot
sustainability is
differently.
obviously a focus. We did
Yeah.
have the 2 weeks off in January, which also
Yeah.
adds in there. If we're going 7 units profit a week, that's another 14 units we've given away there technically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we have more of a focus on, and the subs appreciate this now. It's like they want to be here for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. They don't care if we skip a Wednesday or
Yeah.
we tip a little bit less
Yeah.
on a Saturday because they don't care. They're not focused on, as we said, that one day's
Yeah.
results, that 1 week's results. They only care about keep making profit every single month, right? And that's the way that the system's built.
And at the end of the day, I don't know how to explain this one. So people, if they want to take more risk with sustainability, people can do that on their own on their own accord. In terms of if, people can go to a $100 unit size if they want, and then they're risking their own personal sustainability sort of thing. But the way we've taken a much more conservative approach towards sustainability as a whole for everyone. But if people then want to go and sort of burn all their accounts and go hard, the option is there. They just double their unit size sort of thing. So the option wouldn't recommend it by any means.
We had a guy message us yesterday. He said, I want to make 10K and then I'm out. And I'm like, he's like, how do I do this? It's going to take me 2 years. Well, I think he was on a $25 unit size, and he was kind of not sure whether he wanted to join Platinum so he can go 30, 40, 50. But I think he was having like personal issues, and he said he wanted to stay away from the punt because I think he may be getting tempted to like gamble, depression gamble, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, if you want to go and do that, like you said, you can go and do it. But I don't really see the point of that. Like,
No, exactly right.
why would you want to do that for like 2-3 months when?
No, but what I'm saying is
Do it 2-3
like
years.
when we started tipping, we would just go hard,
Yeah,
profit,
we
go
didn't
hard,
consider
profit.
sustainability.
So naturally our units were a lot higher.
Yeah.
But now
I also don't think the bookies were as hot on it as
They
they
weren't
are
as
now.
hot.
They've
That's correct.
definitely like last 3 to 6 months especially.
So we've had to adapt that for our system and for our
100%.
subscribers.
Which
because
is what
otherwise
people
we're not
don't
gonna
understand
have,
as
We're not
well.
going to have any subs if they all get banned.
We're constantly on top of this. We have people that are doing this every week that are telling us information about different bookies, especially in Hussla Platinum. So we're feeding this back in. And
Speaking about bans, and obviously you've just mentioned Hussla Platinum a couple of times. We have addressed this a few times, but we have had massive following growths on all of our socials. Do you want to give just a brief 2 to 3 minute rundown of what the difference is between the system and Hussla in general, and then maybe what Hussla Platinum can provide to our subscribers?
Yeah, so the Hussla Squad is an education platform, right? We have a free course and a Platinum Squad course. The Platinum Squad course is a once-off fee of $1,100. Currently, that's the price. We've had 335 members join that. We've had 6,000 people sign up to the free course. Free course is 30 to 40 or 25 to 30 free videos, right? Goes for about 2.5 hours, educates you and introduces you to what match betting is, how to turn a bonus over, how to kind of introduce yourself to basic sustainability, not getting banned, etc. Very, very basic stuff. Although we get a lot of people say, hey man, this should be charged. Anyway, people watch that, whatever. Gives them a little bit of a taste of what's going on. Essentially, that is reliant upon bonus bets. People are like, okay, what do you do if you don't have bonus bets? Well, that's where you come across to the Platinum Squad. Platinum Squad, once-off fee, full refund if you don't make your course fee back in the first month. Comes with 6 to 12 methods that are used across sport and horse racing. And then essentially it also includes 4 modules. The first module, defense and sustainability, full-on advanced patterns, all the things you need to consider. Very, very, complex defense and sustainability. It's ever evolving. We're constantly updating that. Then you've got Betfair, learn how to use that, which then leads into the system. enables you to turn your bonus over at 75, 80%. And then you've got obviously the Discord now with people asking questions all the time. That in itself is an asset too. So how that relates back to the system, right? Like our 6 to 12 methods that we teach, the system shits all over those methods. It trumps them all, pardon the pun. It literally, we've done the horse promo method analysis, and it's like comparing a Lamborghini to like, I don't know, what's a shit car? Whatever.
Horse and carriage.
Legit. So the point is, we're actually releasing a little promo into the Platinum Squad this week to give people an opportunity to jump in, because I don't think enough people understand how profitable it is.
So can I just... there's people in Hussla just simply following horse promo method.
I don't know. Yes, there is, but there's also people that you might sign up and then they just don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, that happens for
sure.
yes,
But like, you know, there's people who are just like, nah, I'm happy with horse promo.
The guy who made 100k is doing just that. Yes.
Oh my god, he would have made 150k.
But he's not followed the instructions. He's overlaying, so he's doing his own shit, which I don't.
Overlaying.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's working.
I don't understand how that works.
He overlays roughy. It's fucked. I don't know how he's won, but
hang on. He's backing a roughie on retail, overlaying them, and then getting a bonus back.
If they win, he's fucked. But I don't know how in the long term that's actually come out in massive profit, but that's what he does. So, yeah, he's actually made, I think he was up to like 130k after like 13, 14 months. And that's just with one set of accounts, not scaling. Anyway, going back to it, if you combine the system, which is obviously way more profitable than any method that we teach, and the reality is it only takes you 5 hours to 7 hours a week to follow the system. Then you combine our bonus turnover and Betfair, which you released a video last week showing that, hang on, if you were on, obviously the results there officially track at 65%. We've been very open that that's super conservative. Yeah. It's very simple. That's just simple two-way Dutching, three-way Dutching, turn it over on sport. If you're getting 70, 75, I think you said 75 is like 675
units.
So 675 units instead of 544.
Oh, no, it'd be at 700 units now. That was when we were at 525. Yeah.
So you're looking at like, I think 80% was like, what, 800 and something? 810?
80% was 740 or something.
Yeah, so add another 20 to that from the weekend.
Oh yeah,
okay. So 760, and then 80%, 85% or 90% was 810.
Yeah.
So for a $50 unit punter, let's go with 80% conservative.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other services do track at 80%. Two that we know of.
Yeah.
What do we got? 740. 760.
760.
So $50 unit punter has made, what's that? 38k or something. No.
Yeah, 38. Bang on.
38k in 17 months. So that's just with one method. We have 6 more. So if you're following Platinum and you're doing this, you're not only going to get way more profit, but you're then going to have, and vice versa for the system, they're going to sustain their accounts better because obviously there's more involvement with sustainability. And then they're also going to save a shitload of time. They don't have to sit there doing bonus turnover every week. We have people messaging us all the time, how do we fucking find bonus turnover? It's annoying. Like we wouldn't sit there finding bonus turnover, but obviously when you're doing Betfair, you're done within 5 hours on the day and you're all over. You've made your profit and you move on. So I don't know, that's probably over talking about it and over complicated it a little bit, but essentially Hussla is a free education platform and a paid education platform. The reality is, and the thing you need to understand here is, when you combine both, you're getting the most profit. And if you're not combining both, you're doing one or the other a disservice. I think that's what, like we have guys who are probably making, 2k a week on the system, who are doing both on like a $200 unit size. Obviously the $50 unit size are making 800 a week or something.
Yeah.
More, less, but 500 a week.
Yeah, and we do tell a lot of people, that are going to look to increase their unit size that, you pay that one-off fee for $1,100 or whatever it is. You're going to learn how to use Betfair. You're going to get
what did Tom say?
Defense and sustainability.
The guy who's getting sponsored by both of us.
What do you mean? Oh, he said it's a no-brainer. He made back. Well, first of all, he's like, I made my Trumpy annual fee in like one day.
Yeah.
Because he's on like $200 unit sizes, and he's like, that's 5 Trumpy units, so to pay off my Hussla. And he's like, I've got all the Betfair knowledge, all the defense and sustainability. And he's like, and I've been able to use the Betfair knowledge to do other things that have nothing to do with Trumpy or Hussla.
Yeah.
But just because you know how to use Betfair, that opens up, a shit ton of other avenues as well. So that in itself is really valuable. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Jack, who's got another sub. So thanks to Jack on the podcast.
Is he a monthly or what?
Only Jack.
I haven't really had a look. Just saw that it popped up.
Did we get a yearly?
What are you
before?
checking? Because I reckon you're enjoying.
He has jumped in on a monthly 10:15
there we go.
PM.
He just came through now. You'll be ahead of me.
So well done, Jackie. But on that note, I think we might wrap it up. I know I'm desperate to take a leak. I'm about to wet my pants. But
How much are people going to make?
Steve,
Wake up.
How much people are going to make what? Over what? The next 10 days, 30 days? What do you want?
Let's talk about 30 days and 3 months and 6 months.
Oh, well, we
Because
average...
Tom's going to piss himself.
literally.
And I need to buy a new
I
couch.
can't believe you've just started a new fucking topic at the end.
I didn't. He
No,
started.
what is it? We just spoke about how much they're gonna make. For like
Said
20
I was
minutes.
done, mate. I was checked
Fuck,
out.
and he's just talking about all of Hussla, and I was like, how much they're gonna make. You see how fucking serious?
Fucking hell. Alright, well, we got 34 units profit on average is what we're making. If you break that down by day, that's a bit over 1 unit profit a day. Look, most people who start up, if you're going to start up,
1
probably
unit
start
profit a day. That's not correct. Well, per 7 day, we only tip 2.
Like a calendar day.
Just a calendar day.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
calendar
we
day.
only tip 2.
We're getting a bit silly now. Alright.
Me.
You good? Look, most people who sign up, they're probably going to start up on like a $10, $20 unit size. Generally speaking, anyway. So you're going to be looking at sort of $350 to $500 to $700 between that range in your first month is probably what you're going to look at making. From there, obviously, we're going to continue to average 34, 35 units profit per month forever, I reckon. It might dip a little bit down as we probably consider sustainability a bit more. But, time will tell with that. But, the individual will probably go, after their first month, will go from $10 to $20. And then probably after 3 or 4 months, they're probably going to go from 20 to 30 or 20 to 35, 20 to $40 unit sizes. So, 40 by 35 is $1,500, $1,400 a month that you're probably going to be looking like you're going to be making in, 4, 5, 6 months' time.
Yeah.
And then, that can always double again and triple again. So I'll keep it short and sharp. I won't go on too long.
Any final messages apart from telling people to follow our channel and subscribe?
What did the podcast we do? The bloke who we did the podcast, he was just telling everyone to wake up.
Yeah, legit, just wake up. Like if you're a gambler and you're sitting there losing every week, just jump into our free chat, go through some of the content, send us a DM on Instagram.
Yeah, I had a mate that signed up.
Reach out. Yeah.
I had a mate that signed up a couple of months ago, and I was having beers with him, and he came up to me. He's like, "Steve, does it actually work?" Mate, what? This last 18 months, you think I've been pulling a scam then? I was like, mate, of course it worked. Like, every man in Australia, I use that line. I use the every man in Australia should be doing this, or at least should be doing it once in their life and know how to do it.
Yeah, it's still baffling how we only have 310. I anticipate this will go to 500 very quick as we start to get more of this kind of content out. But
as you said, like if you've watched this today or you've seen some snippets of it, just flick us a DM.
Yeah,
send us a
Instagram
message.
is the best point.
We'll follow up. We'll help you out. But yeah, good podcast, good debut, Steve.
Yeah,
good start. And,
if you have questions as well, we do want to get. Obviously, we'll post this in the paid channel too. Where we'll maybe get some more kind of harder questions that people might ask from actual paid subs.
Yeah,
that'd
be good.
That's something that's been requested. So potentially, I don't know. Obviously, Steve, you're coming from the other side of town. You're complaining that you want the company to reimburse you with petrol and stuff like that. I'm
on gas though, so it's.
Well, you're a fucking scam artist. So we got the Uber Eats paid for on the company card, so that was nice.
That's lovely.
Didn't have to fork out.
Good pad thai. Shout out to the pad thai restaurant we got as well.
Yeah, nice.
Bloody beautiful.
All right, wrap it up. Tom, you got anything to say, or you just want to take your piss?
No, I'm going to wet my pants. So
Yeah,
good
you
work,
look like
lads.
you're struggling.
Yeah, bloody hot in here as well. So good work. That was a good podcast. If you've listened to all of that, kudos to you.
Yeah,
Talk a bit of shit, but
we'll leave a discount code at the back at the end.
Should we put one in?
Piss.
Yeah.
Discount code piss.
Piss 10.
Piss 10.
You can have 10% off if you watch the whole
on a
podcast.
monthly or more. Done.
Too easy. All right. Well, I'll
Catch
see
you
you
next
lads for the
time.
next one.
Cheers, boys.
What else do we want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm desperate for a piss.
Yeah.
And it's so hot in here.
Yeah, it's warm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because you're wearing a fucking hoodie and this guy's wearing a jean jacket.
Cameras over
Is it?
How long we got on the thing?
It's an hour.
Can I piss or is that going to fuck
piss.
everything? Is that going to fuck everything up for you?
Um,
I can probably go like 10 more minutes. 15
Yeah, we won't
max.
go more than 10.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do that.
Are you falling asleep yet? A little bit?
I
I
go
saw
to bed at like 9 o'clock usually.
Mate, I'm falling asleep. I swear it's because it's how warm it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
So
that's
hot,
it is.
yeah. It's cooking.
Fuck.
the lights as well must not be helping.
No, they
A fucking headache from them.
6, 10, 70.
Steve's sitting there like this.
People reckon your
Need
eyes are like that
sunnies.
anyway. Have
Yeah,
you
I
seen
know.
people write that?
Oh, I cop it all the time. Are we getting this thing going or what? We're going to drive to the other side of Melbourne after this.
let's get it done.
All good. You'll make it.
Oh, I might smash the pineapple before.
Have one now, I reckon.
It's
Why
you
are
can
you doing
smell it. It's in the air.
You get
It's no, but it's gonna drip and shit. Oh, do I just eat straight off the plate?
Why not? What else is it for?
People are going to be so confused. It's going to cut and then it's
Yeah, we just had intermission, guys.
Are we ready? Because I'm legit going to piss my pants.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm actually like cramping as well.
Get the man some salt tablets. This guy's dying over here as well.